first piece of gear I want to talk about is my Sony FX30. This is a Sony Cinema Line camera with a Super 35 sensor. It's a little bit smaller than the FX3. It doesn't have quite the same low light performance, but if I'm shooting outside, I find myself preferring the trade-off of having less glass to lug around. And let's be real, a full frame sensor is awesome. It gives you an amazing picture and is capable of capturing so much light, even in dark scenes. But Super 35 was the motion picture standard for a long time. And do we always need full frame? I don't think so. Sometimes I think we should take the opportunity to sacrifice a little bit of performance for less weight. And that's exactly what the FX30 does for me. The second piece of gear I need to talk about is in my hand, right here. I'm talking, of course, about my iPhone 15 Pro. I opted for the 15 Pro over the Pro Max, mostly because I didn't need the larger display. And I'm very happy that I did. It has the same camera as the Pro Max in a smaller package and enables me to be even more agile. I'm taking it along with me right now as a B angle. And thanks to the magic of Tentacle Sync, I'm able to shoot a multi-camera production outdoors using Bluetooth. That's amazing. And it also shoots in Apple Log. Using the Blackmagic camera application, I'm able to get a robust HEVC 422 video signal out of my iPhone. So the production quality that I'm able to pull off on my trike is incredible. And speaking of Tentacle Sync, it's incredibly easy to set up timecode over Bluetooth. A few taps, and you have timecode flowing into your iPhone exactly like you do for your professional cinema cameras. That's cool. So now I want to get into a few items that are explicitly not filmmaking related. Last night, I found myself out after dark with a failing bike light. And nothing is more dangerous and frustrating than not being able to see the road ahead or have other vehicles see you. Fortunately, I had my Phoenix PD25R flashlight. This is a pocket rechargeable flashlight that's capable of outputting up to 800 lumens. And you can get that full brightness for roughly an hour runtime. I'll include a link to this little flashlight down in the description below, but it might be something you'd want to pick up for your filmmaking kit. I found the CRI isn't probably the greatest, although I haven't measured it, but that doesn't matter. If my eyes can see and my camera can resolve that there is something there, I think the job is done. Another thing you'll always need on set is a great knife. And today, I'm carrying my Kershaw Bel Air in Cerakote MagnaCut. If you take a look at the blade here, you can see this is a well-loved, often used knife. I make feather sticks, I cut tape, I cut boxes, anything around the workshop or the studio that needs cutting, this is the knife I rely on. And because it's such a robust tool in the studio, it goes with me in my bag everywhere. I have to admit, I've only been carrying this specific knife for the past few months, but so far, the finish is holding up great, and I wouldn't have any problems using it as an everyday knife for a couple of years, looking at how it's holding up so far. The other thing that I carry with me all of the time is a Zippo with a butane insert. Part of the reason I carry this is you never know when you might need to start a fire or melt some paracord. I've often found the butane insert to be more robust than your typical Zippo insert, but if I was pressed to find flaws in this particular design, it would be that it's a little bit less windproof. So if you're going to be starting fires near 0 Fahrenheit or in an extremely windy environment, this is the only time I would recommend carrying a standard Zippo over the butane one. And last but not least, we have the dynamic duo of mobile video editing. I'm talking, of course, about my AirPods Pro and iPad Pro. I'm still tinkering with the idea of being able to run DaVinci Resolve on my iPad Pro, but I love the idea of being able to capture, like I'm doing right now, and assemble a rough cut before I take it back to the studio for finishing. I'll be talking about this more in the future because I have a few trips planned where it will likely be conducive to take the iPad rather than my 15-inch MacBook Pro. It looks like the sun is starting to get a little bit lower and I should probably move on. Once again, thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment down below to let me know what's in your kit. Are there pieces of filmmaking gear that you simply cannot leave home without? And what about the pieces of gear that are unrelated to filmmaking but support your overall adventure? The gear that got you there, I've heard people say, and I think that's a great term. I hope you get to spend some time outdoors this summer, and I hope you always stay curious.